Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. We have a great show here for you today. We have my good friend Sandy Mackay with us. Thanks everybody who subscribed over the weekend. We're at 1,100 subscribers, and started this back in March. Really the goal was to get to 1,000. Now the goal is to get to 10,000. So, if you want to share this with your friends, share this on your social media. We do appreciate it. Smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm, it really does help. That puts it out to more people. If you like it, I think other people will like it. So again, my good friend Sandy Mackay, he is a realtor. He owns multiple businesses. He also runs a podcast with Rob Brake called Breakthrough Real Estate Investing. They've been doing that for 6 or 7 years. We're going to link that down below. And yeah, if you like what we're talking about today, definitely check that out. A lot of good information there. And I was a guest there, pretty long time ago. A while ago. Anyways, let's get started. Welcome, Sandy.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Excited to be here.
Yeah.
See where this goes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't like to prepare these just because I like to know, I like to just to keep it informal and go. So Sandy, I've known you for quite a while. You do various things, right? Mm-hmm. I met you through our good friend Quentin.
Yep.
He introduced us. You were an investor out in Durham region at the time, and you basically pulled up stakes and you moved out to Hamilton.
Someone convinced us it was worthwhile. I guess he's a pretty smart person. Convinced me to go out that way, and then, I don't know. Here we are. How long ago? 6 years? 6 years later?
Has it been 6 years now?
Yeah.
That's it.
6 years. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So 6 years ago, okay, let's say 7 when we met. And you started doing your real estate courses. You were investing at that time, right?
Yeah.
So what did you get? What was the portfolio like 7 years ago?
Handful of properties, not even.
Yeah, you had 3 or 4, right?
Yeah, like 3 maybe.
3, couple fourplexes.
We did some wholesale deals. We did some creative stuff, but I think we had 2 actually, and maybe a couple in the works.
Okay. All right.
So we definitely had a duplex. I think we had another duplex and a single family.
Okay. And then so fast forward 7 years later. You own multiple businesses, a hell of a lot of real estate. So how much real estate do you
own? 50 properties, give or take.
50 properties. How many doors is that?
Close to 200, or maybe just over 200 now.
Okay. Good. What other businesses do you own?
Property management, realtor team, and construction.
Yeah.
A few other ones. Those would be the main ones. Virtual professional company. So I obviously don't work on those day to day myself. I'm not running all those day to day, but those are the ones that we've been involved in and grown over mainly the last 3 years for most of those, and portfolio obviously for the last 7 years.
Right. All right. So let's talk a little bit about, and I see this question on boards all the time. So, and I have my answer. I want yours actually. You were a real estate investor. You got your real estate license. Mm-hmm. Has that helped you or hindered you in your investment career, do you think?
Definitely helped. I didn't really get in just to be able to see all the back end info and everything. I think a lot of investors probably get in. That's the mindset coming in, right? Yeah. I don't know if that was yours or not coming in. That was part of it probably, but it wasn't the full thing. I think, we got into business together at the time, right? So it was more about, learning, being in the right environment to learn and grow and just be around people doing other bigger stuff. And I almost said the other word there. Can I swear on this or I don't know?
No.
So we're I
don't know what you want to swear about. Jeez.
I was going to say, cool.
I mean, what would I like to swear about? I don't know. I went from 5 to 200 units in 6 years.
It wasn't going to be negative.
I made a crap ton of money. I own 5, 6, 7, 8 different businesses.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years. I mean, yeah. So
cool stuff. There's a bunch of cool stuff that happened.
Shit, of course. I don't know what else you were going to swear. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. So we had some cool shit happen and owned some cool stuff, and then I think that would never happen if I didn't get my license and get around that environment. So I think it was more the environment, to be honest, that was the biggest thing. I don't think just getting the license and that's generically going to help everyone.
Yeah.
Right. So it depends on who you're around, what you're working on together, and being around people doing bigger stuff.
Well, that's it. It's so funny. I mean, you guys can go watch the video from Friday. Did you watch the video from Friday?
Not yet. I'm sure I will.
Yeah. Well, it's basically why I want to be the dumbest person in the room.
Right.
Right. And I think with real estate, and I think that's a great point. And I didn't even bring that up to people when they asked me if they should get their real estate license, is that it does put you in a room with bigger thinkers. Like there are people who own businesses doing real estate that are hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars a year, $1 billion businesses a year. They're business owners, right? And they talk about owning the ancillary businesses, right? And being able to run that and how that works and how that works for everybody, right?
That's it, right? That's the thing. If you're in, you could go get a license and sit at home and do nothing and not, that's might help you a bit, might not. You can go get a license, go, in a good company, in a good group of people where you're actually around that type of environment and you're the dumbest person in the room, and you're obviously going to naturally develop up, and it might happen quick, it might happen over time, but you're going to eventually average out to that room you're sitting in. So I think, for me, real estate's being the realtor side of it definitely just gave that opportunity to go down that path a little deeper, and all great benefits along that too, in terms of, I can see all the info and the data and stuff. And you just start talking real estate every day versus trying to make it a side thing.
Yeah, for sure. What would your advice be to 10 years ago, Sandy?
10 years ago, Sandy was not doing too much exciting things. So I would say, actually, I was kind of doing some exciting things. I was living in Australia probably at the time, which was kind of cool. But
golfing a lot.
So that was okay.
Yeah.
You like to golf, but it wasn't a whole lot of money in it at the end of the day. I mean, I was kind of ups and downs with things at that point, but I was young, so learned through it.
You're still young.
Still youngish.
What are you, like 31?
34 now.
Oh my!
Not.
You are
34,
old.
I'm getting there. Not in the 40s yet, though. So
that's true.
Good. I would say,
but I can still run 100 kilometers in a day. Can you?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. That's something I'm gonna follow you, maybe getting there when I get a few years down the road here.
There you go. So 10 years ago, so you're 24 years old. What's the advice to 24
years old?
24-year-old Sandy.
Get around people doing bigger stuff. I think just really, really be aware of your peer group and who you're around every day.
You're 5 people, right?
Yeah, you're 5 people, because I wasn't around a bad group of people. Great people, but they also weren't doing necessarily stuff that the people I'm around are doing now. And so I think you just naturally become the average, right? That's pretty.
The average of the 5 people you hang
talk
around.
About that a lot, but it's the absolute truth, and the environment's just everything. Yeah. So I think getting around the right environment, being a little more purposeful about that, not just kind of if I end up around there, it's cool. If not, it's not.
Yeah.
A little more purposeful around it, and probably seeking out more people to ask questions about, to get advice from, that sort of thing. Because I think a lot of people get nervous about doing that. I would say myself back then for sure wouldn't just have not done it.
Yep.
Whereas a lot of people are out there to help. A lot of people want to help.
Yeah,
I'm sure people reach out to you. People reach out to me a lot about stuff. I'm gladly willing to find some time to make some.
I'll jump on a 5-10 minute phone call with anyone. I don't care, right? No skin off my nose.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people out there might not, see you or I on videos and stuff, and they'll be like, who am I to reach out to this guy, a little 21-year-old or 24-year-old or something at the time for me? Well,
those are the guys I want to help most.
Same. I know. Those are most exciting.
You're
they
hungry.
Have so many things they could do.
Well, they're hungry, and it's like, those are the guys I look for. I want to be in business with them sometimes, right? Like, if you're hungry and you want to learn and you want to grow, that's who I want to be mentoring to, and I want to work with, and I want to grow a business with, right? That's how I got into business. That's how I got into the meat delivery business with True Local, right? I met a young guy, and he, 4 years later, it's it's a $20 million sales company, right? It's how I got into the restaurant business. It's how I get into most businesses. It's the who, not the how, right?
I've eaten at the restaurants a lot lately, by the way.
Have you? Me too.
They're pretty good.
Have you gone to the new location on James for Carl?
I actually, Friday.
Did you?
I did on Friday.
There you go.
That's why I was saying I've been there. As you bring it up, I've been there probably in the last 3 weeks. I think I've been to all 3.
I appreciate the support.
So, it's funny. It's good food.
It's good food, good price.
Yeah.
What can go wrong?
Yeah. And they're open.
And they're open, yes, yeah. Which is nice and still will be.
Yeah.
Doug Ford, you're watching this. We don't need to shut restaurants down. Doesn't need to happen. Gyms too. Smaller, whatever. Just not my small gym.
You can go outside for that anyways.
It's going to get cold. Yeah. Now, so again, we've gone from 5 units, doors, whatever, to 200. You've done wholesaling. What have you done in your career? So you've done wholesaling. I know you do burrs now.
A lot of burrs now. We've got into some bigger stuff, I guess, lately. That's probably the path that it's going. More along the stuff that you like to do a lot of. Some of, like, we did we just closed an 11 unit. We got a 15 unit. A little bigger stuff. Like, we used to do 3 units and 4 units all day long, which we still would do. And they're good. They keep things moving and flowing. They take a long time. There's a lot of maintenance and stuff over time. We said we weren't going to talk too much on numbers, but the numbers on some of the bigger ones can just be, you can get there faster, and you can it's just, I don't know, economies of scale. It's a little easier.
It's definitely, I was just going to say, it's economies of scale, right? Like, if you want to put $1 million or $2 million to play in like 3-unit properties, it just takes that much more work to go find them and to do them, to manage them and do everything. Where, so you can buy one building, put $1 million into that one building, you can get that $1 million back and more.
And long term, you have, maybe one boiler or one system to work with, right?
One roof, yeah,
all that stuff, right? So it's just one place to go, not like 10 different places. So it's not necessarily the only way to go. Obviously, there's so many ways you can do it, and if you're comfortable in the smaller stuff,
Well, I tell everyone. They always ask me, like, I'll ask you this question: if all your money disappeared today, what would be your step tomorrow? What would you do?
If it all disappeared today?
Yeah, like you have no properties.
No properties even, so no wealth even.
No wealth.
No cash or wealth.
Nope. But you have all the knowledge you have right now.
Yeah, would probably get, if I wanted to get to the same place today, it wouldn't take me 7 years.
No.
I mean, it didn't only take 7 years. There was some stuff before that, obviously.
A few things before that.
But I mean, it wouldn't take
It all started like the day he met me. That was it.
Yeah. No, I would say it would take a lot less. Probably could build up the same amount in less than 3 years, I would say.
So what was your zero? What would you do?
If I was going to attempt to do the same thing or do something similar?
Would you do something different?
Okay.
Like, would you grow it again? What would you do? Like, what would that look like?
I would definitely do something similar. I mean, I'd definitely grow a business of some sort. Probably stay in real estate since that's what I know. I mean, I would probably look at buying some real estate. So I like owning real estate. I'd probably buy bigger stuff right away.
Yeah.
Because I'd be able to get here in one deal.
Yeah.
Right? 1 or 2 deals, you could find something probably that made sense like that. So if it all disappeared, if I still had the knowledge, the people network and stuff like that were around, I think I'd be able to do a lot faster. I'd definitely still buy real estate. Definitely probably sell a lot of real estate and probably get in the same business because I really enjoy sales in real estate.
Yeah, I actually do too, as long as it's apartment buildings and commercial.
Yeah, I don't enjoy every single element.
And not residential so much. That's what I've learned in my life. That's why I have a good partner. She loves that. So
there you go. I mean, I definitely make sure the right people are around me to make sure that we're going to grow it, and I focus on things that I enjoy doing. I don't necessarily love day-to-day real estate sales either, residential type stuff. I don't mind the commercial type stuff. I enjoy watching and helping other people do it, so I'd probably do some version of that. I'd create real estate businesses again because it's a great industry. You learn so much about money and wealth and people through it. And I'd probably do that again really fast, buy some real estate fast, and then...
Because you don't need any of your own money to invest in real estate, do you?
I wouldn't use any of my own money.
Yeah. When was the last time you used any of your own money in a real estate deal?
This year.
Oh, you did? What did you...
But I don't, that's not usually the intent.
So what did you do? What was the deal?
We just went a little over what we projected, and I said, if we're going over this, we're going to put some money in. So we put money in. That's usually what we do. Like if I commit to an investor to put something in, it's like, here's what we're going to put in. If for some reason something changes or whatever, or we're putting more in, so it's not like I didn't pay for the whole property.
Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing. So if I have a budget and we go way over, then we each put in what's Like if we're 50-50 partners, I put in 50%, he puts in 50%.
Right.
So
yeah, we're both, it's typically it's situational depending on the person we're dealing with, right? But that's not even the right thing to do it for. I love doing it with no money in some form. There's a point too where you end up with, if you have too many partners or something like that, where it can get a bit, maybe that's not the right thing for everyone either, because then you're managing a lot of different relationships. Owning 100% of everything is great, but I don't mind owning a little less.
I mean, I'd rather have 50% of 1,000 units than 100% of 10.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had the opportunity probably to grow our other businesses that kind of support that portfolio and other people's portfolios if we didn't scale up.
Yeah.
Right. So it's led to a lot more opportunities for a lot more people besides myself doing it that way. So I'm happy we did it. I probably would still do the same.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd buy bigger stuff though. If I was looking at the portfolio stuff, I'd just focus on bigger stuff.
Yeah.
Might not. You're not going to come across a deal every week in that. You might. But
right now we are. Right now we are. Like there's a lot changing hands, and I mean it at ridiculous pricing, but again, my personal mantra is like I may look like an idiot now, and I may like be overpaying, but in 5 years I'll look like a genius. And people will say, "How did you buy it for that? You got it so cheap." And you're like, "I overpaid."
Well, you're in the right areas in Southern Ontario.
Yeah,
it's kind of a no-brainer.
Like everywhere, like 401 corridor, like Hamilton, where I like 99% of my portfolio is 99. I don't know, somewhere around there, right? It's higher than 95, let's just say. Yeah, but I mean, I've been looking other places now just because of, like 200,000 a unit in Hamilton. It just seems.
Yeah, you're getting there now.
Yeah, it seems
it's
getting
150
expensive.
for a terrible, like a dump, right? And you can find it even like there's Windsor or somewhere. There's all sorts of different good, like attractive places right now that are.
Windsor still scares me. So we have. It's funny. We have Austin Ye coming on, and I know he's big.
He's hardcore Windsor. Yeah.
He's hardcore Windsor, so maybe he'll convert me. But Windsor still scares me. I'd rather go the other way and go like 401 East type thing, like
towards Kingston.
Towards Kingston, yeah. I don't know why. It just
anywhere in honestly Southern Ontario, right? It's like this year is a bit weird with the immigration. Maybe less immigration or
obviously
migration
you didn't watch that video either.
Did you talk about the pros of that or why it doesn't matter?
Well, we actually talked about, and we'll link it down below. But we basically talked about that immigration won't be as affected as everybody thinks.
Oh, okay. Immigration, not so people coming into Canada.
Yeah.
So I think, and even if it's temporarily slowed down, I don't think it's long term either.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been so much for so long, anyways, that there's so many good quality immigrants in the country and in Southern Ontario primarily, right? It was 150,000 every year.
That's their goal, but they're getting like 250,000 like in Southwestern Ontario. So
no supply, cheap money. There's a million other factors, but like those three alone, until any of those change.
Yep. No,
right.
I mean, you're talking about the pricing of multifamily units, and we've definitely even seen them get like cap rates get compressed even more because I mean you can get CMHC money at 1.2 to 1.3%. I mean, we saw a 12 unit go at like a 2.75 cap in Toronto or in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was definitely a good area, but it was still like.
That's getting down there.
That's getting down. I mean, I buy at 3.25 to 3.75. I think if I buy at 3.75 for something I can add value to, I think I'm doing very well.
Yeah, as long as the value adds there, right? As long as for that model that we do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my 32 unit that I bought last July, where people are finally starting to leave. I think we have 5 people turning over in there, and we're going from an average of like $650 a month in rent to like $1,550, $1,600, right? Like it's more than that. Like it's like we're getting almost $900 a month extra in rent. Mm-hmm. Like it's ridiculous, and that's just me waiting. Mm-hmm. I really haven't done anything other than we had a biohazard team in for one unit because it was so bad. We had the city condemn one of our units. Could do a video on that. That's a good idea.
We had I probably can't share my details this one, but we had a murder in one of our units the other week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. There's some fun stuff happens in this industry.
I've never had.
Maybe in a year I could share more on that. Probably can't yet. So I should be careful on that. But it's the more you have, the more crazy stuff's gonna happen.
Right? To be honest with you, though, I don't like. I've never had anyone die in my units. I've had people like when I used to own smaller stuff, like there was a drug overdose, but they took him away. He died at the hospital. Actually, that's a lie. There was a fire and a guy died. But that was in Cornwall, so I don't really even think about that one. But yeah, I mean, yeah, again,
there's weird, crazy shit that happens.
Yeah.
And I think once you get going with it, though, all those things, that's what I think when someone, like, you meet with someone newer or something and they're so scared of the tenant situations and stuff. And I'm just like, thinking about the things that happened last week or yesterday, or I'm like,
well, that's why you have a property manager, right?
Yeah. Have someone that deals with stuff.
Yeah, like no, I don't do it. It's like I bought a building, a 20 unit on Balmoral, and like 2 days after I took possession, we closed on a Thursday. On the Saturday, I'm getting calls from the fire department because somebody's propane canister exploded on the deck, right? It heated up and boom. And I'm like, oh, is the building okay? They're like, yeah, there's some scarred like black marks on there, but otherwise it's fine. Like we don't have to do anything. I'm like, okay, so we got to pressure wash it, and I get to tell everyone they can't have propane canisters on their thing anymore. They're like, oh yeah, sure. I'm like, okay, perfect.
Silver lining in it, yeah.
Yeah. So I pissed off some tenants. They left.
There's always crazy stuff happens, right? It's always going to be like that, and I think you got to get in it and get used to it, and obviously you build up a bit of you build up that what do you call it? You build up a
thick skin.
Thick skin, I guess, yeah.
Well, it's so funny. I don't know who was mentioning it the other day, but they're basically like, Mark, nothing bothers you. like you're like Teflon. Like nothing bothers you. Just rinses off. And I said, well, I mean, you look at it and you go. I go back to an analogy. There was when there was a whole thing going on with a networking group I was in. Some guy had gone bankrupt and had screwed a couple people. And the one guy at the networking group, he's a realtor, and he's like lamenting he'd lost like $13,000 or something. And it wasn't even lost. He just had to go through different channels to get some of it back or whatever. And I basically looked at him. I said, what's your average sale price? He's like 800,000. I'm like, do you think in the time that you're sitting here whining to me about this, that you could go find somebody in that room of 300 people that may want to buy or sell a home in your area that you make $20,000 with? He's like, well, yeah. I said, wouldn't it be a better use of your time just to go in there and meet somebody who wants to buy or sell real estate rather than whining to me about this? Like, you can go sell one house and make double what you just lost. So at the end of the day, is it worth wasting your time out here with me, or should you just go in and meet someone? He's like, oh yeah.
The sooner you can get over that stuff, right, the better. I mean, that's maybe. I think I have that too. Maybe I learned that from you. I don't know, but partially. But I know you are good at that. Is just getting over with it. Let's just move on and go. Like, if you're gonna sit here and dwell in the past forever, you're like even it goes in beyond that time wasting there. Like, who's he attracting into that little conversation, right? And you think guys like a Jeff Bezos or something doesn't have a ton of problems going on all the time? Of course.
Oh yeah.
Think he doesn't lose money every day? Of course, in some way or shape or form, he loses all over the place. There'll be money lost.
Yeah, billions.
He also made whatever billion more, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah, you can't dwell on all that stuff in the past for more than like 5 seconds, really. It's nice to it's okay to get pissed off, but like let's get on with it and move on.
Well, that's it. And and if you're one of those, if you are somebody who lives in the past a lot, then you're going to attract people who live there too.
Yeah,
and
which is not a great group typically.
No.
It's just a waste of time. Just a waste of time. Waste of time doesn't make you feel good, doesn't make other people feel good.
Well, actually, it does make people feel good, right? Because
true,
they
join the pity party.
They join the pity party, and they're like, "Oh, my life isn't as bad as them."
True.
Right? So they're there to make themselves feel better, and
yeah. So it makes people feel good in a roundabout way. That's probably not an exciting way, and not going to help you get anywhere further.
No, I'd rather go celebrate somebody's win.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather celebrate my buddies who are on Dragon's Den, or you bought a new property, or you started a new business, or you're opening up your own brokerage in Vaughan. So if you have any agents watching this in Vaughan, you guys want to join Keller Williams coming to Vaughan. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Should we cut that or?
I don't know. Keep it there.
All right.
Who cares?
Yeah. Join Sandy in Vaughan.
Talk to me. There might be something in Vaughan. I don't know.
There might be something coming in Vaughan soon.
Yeah.
Okay, you have 200 units in your portfolio right now. And I know a lot of people out there have trouble in the resident, like you say, you're still doing 3 or 4 unit properties. I know a lot of people have trouble out there once they get to a certain size in their portfolio financing those properties.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing today to finance those properties?
Not usually going on title myself.
So you're joint venturing, you have a joint venture agreement or a trust agreement.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And the partner usually goes on if it's the residential financing route. I mean, there's other ways to do it. You can do like some version of through corporations and holdcos and that, and financing it as like on the commercial side of things, commercial lending. It's not ideal for that strategy. For the smaller ones, pretty much every time we're doing our partners on financing, residential financing, typical conventional lending. It's pretty easy.
Yep.
And then, well, a lot of stuff we buy is pretty ugly. So often we'll do private at the start because it's fire ridden or kitchens.
My favorite is I think
like that.
What I bought a hoarder house, and so 2 times the appraiser for Scotiabank showed up and basically said they wouldn't even walk in through the front door, and they're like, "There's no way you're getting Scotiabank financing on this." And actually, the fire one I didn't even try to get it. I was just like, okay, private.
You can sometimes
Yeah, like I bought a fire damage triplex and. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sold that.
Yeah, that wasn't worth going through.
No.
When it's half burnt, it's probably not. Banks probably aren't.
Well, it's so funny. Like the appraiser comes in. I bought it for $375.
Right. Yeah.
Like a triplex for $375. Like even a crappy one that I'd have to redo was like $450 or $500. And the appraiser's like, I can't give you an appraisal. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I had such a good relationship with a private lender. I just basically said, hey, you know who I am. You know I know the market. This guy's an idiot. What do you want me to say? Like, let's move forward. And they're like, okay.
Relationships start to mean a lot all the time, but especially in that sense, right? Get access to the money part is huge once you have it and you have some relationships there. Private side's totally a lot less regulated, I guess, and a lot less issues there if you have a good relationship, right?
Yeah, well, I did 100% financing on that.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. And you sold it for a refinance at what, 7, 8?
I refinanced at 7, and I think I sold it for $850.
Nice.
Way back.
Worth like $1 million?
I don't know. It was 4 units, so
yeah.
I don't even know anymore. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like selling, but one of the things I don't know if you. But did a video, Kevin O'Leary and Graham Stephan, that one.
Yeah.
And basically Kevin O'Leary's advice to Graham wasn't going to sell something because there was going to be a tax implication. Mm. And Kevin's advice was never put the taxes into that thing. Because, I have to pay tax when I sell that property. And, that's a big hit. Yet, what I've done with that money since and where I've gone, like sometimes selling a property is the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's always there's time and place, right? And upgrading the portfolio or putting it into something else. Like there's always so many opportunities out there. It's hard. It depends.
Yeah,
right?
well, it's your ROE, right? Mm. Your return on equity. Mm-hmm. You can go get a higher return on equity somewhere else. Then why wouldn't you go ahead and look at that?
Yeah. The commercial lendings on that side of it's a lot easier sometimes, I find, right? That's another reason to go down the bigger apartment building size. Like we don't need to get partners to qualify for anything, right? It's a lot easier. We can do that ourselves in various ways depending on the situation, right? It's just easier, especially once you get a couple of relationships there too going, and then it's just like there's way less. It's easier. You kind of know what it's going to be going in. Like the numbers, more numbers, right?
Yep.
Numbers are there. That's what it is. There's no there's less of at least. Hey, this place down the street is sold for this recently or whatever.
Yeah, this is the cap rate there. I have double the rent, so therefore, okay, maybe I'm not getting their value add bonus. Mm-hmm. But even if you say it's not 3.75 cap, it's 4.25.
Yeah.
Like I think that's pretty reasonable, and it's all based on your net operating income.
Yeah. So I like that a lot better from that standpoint too. It's just easier to predict.
Yeah, I remember the first. Were you around when I did that 18 unit? When it was basically vacant.
No, when you bought it. Okay. Well, maybe we weren't working together, but I knew you. But I know the building.
Right. So when we refinanced, that's the only one I've ever done with CMHC. We refinanced, and CMHC gave us the highest per unit price back then. I think it was $145,000 because we had every unit was rented for $1,300 plus. They were paying their own hydro, gas, and water.
Yeah, utilities were nothing on there, right?
Yeah, we had like zero expenses. And, so they gave us $145,000 back, like we're talking 6-7 years ago, right? When I was still buying stuff with concrete construction at under 100 grand. So like that'd
be nice.
What? Oh yeah. Well, I still tell you, everybody, like the best deal I ever got was on market. And it was it was the last concrete building that sold for under $100,000 per unit. I think it got like 95,000, 96,000 per unit.
That one or no?
1797 Main. No, I bought that for.
Oh yeah.
So that was 18 units and it was $600,000.
Yeah.
And then we went ahead and put $1.2 million into it.
There's the stuff on market all the time that's good. There's stuff off. It's all over. It depends.
So okay, I get that a lot too. I get so many people phone me, hey, do you got off market deals?
Right.
And I'm just like, what do you care if it's on or off market? Like, you just want to get a deal that makes sense, right?
That's all it is.
Right. So, well,
if it's a deal, it's a deal.
It's a deal, it's a deal, right? Who cares if it's on market?
Sometimes the on market ones, there's ones there that they don't look like a deal, right? Because whoever has it listed or whatever, that. So like, you just gotta dig a little deeper, find a little more info, maybe know what info to ask and know what to look for. That's where the right, obviously, partnership or agent or whatever can help out with that. But there's a lot of those out there.
Well, it's knowing what to do with the property too, right?
Knowing what to do with it too.
Like knowing that if I buy this 3-story property, I can turn this into a legal triplex, rather than if I buy this 3-story property, there's no way maybe I'll get a duplex or something on it, right?
Yeah. Hamilton's a lot of the, nobody knows what the zoning is, so even just trying to figure out what it is and knowing what going in, that's something that
I have to get a minor variance here. I don't have to get it here. What's the likelihood I'm going to get the minor variance here rather than here? It's
knowing what to do and knowing that all those, you can't just necessarily take all the info on the MLS system for what it is, right? It's dive a little deeper, collect your own info. There's always deals out, not necessarily always great deals. There's always deals coming or trading hands pretty often on MLS.
Listen, I mean, at this stage in my career and what I own, I don't need and I still hit home runs, but I don't need to hit home runs anymore. Like I'm good with like singles, and again, if you hit 300 over your career in baseball, you're a Hall of Famer.
It's pretty much the same thing, right?
Right.
And the more singles you hit, the better you can identify the home run.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, right? Maybe your single turns into in the park, what is it, in park home run? What is it called?
That's true, actually. Inside the park.
Inside the park home run, right?
That's true. Markets change or something adjusts as you go, and then all of a sudden, like this year, a lot of stuff have turned into kind of home runs because the market's gone a bit.
Wow, I mean
crazy.
My 30 unit I bought in March, right? That I drilled down some money on because of COVID, and at the end of the day, now we look like Jesus, and that's probably going to be a home run because of how many people we were able to get out of there and how many units we're able to turn over quickly. Now, obviously, it's the inside the park one, and I'm probably caught in a rundown between second and third right now because I have 3 work orders with the city right now and a whole bunch of stuff going on. Yet, at the end of the day, that'll all get solved. And, 12 months later, so in July, we'll probably refinance that property and be able just to pull out all of our money plus, $1 million or something. So it's not bad in a year.
I mean, you got to get in and go through that stuff to know how to do it. That's the thing. If you just sit around and wait for the home runs, you're probably never going to get one, first of all. And even if you do, how much time did you waste not being in the market, right? Obviously, I'm sure you talked about that, time in the market versus timing it, and all about time in it. I mean, every month you go without being in it is even if it's no appreciation, you're still losing on the pay down and probably a bit of cash flow and all those different things, right? So you got to get in it.
100%. And I talked about that all the time. It's like, I just look at these at the end of the day as, once I have all my money out, these things are just big piggy banks, in which, on that 30 unit, 30 people put money in my piggy bank every month. And that's it, right? And, every month, even if I have zero cash flow, they're putting money in my piggy bank by just paying down the mortgage. And if I just sit there for 25 or 30 years, they'll pay it off. And, obviously the younger you start, the more time in the market you have, the easier it is, right?
I think a lot of young people need to not look at it as the quick money, right? I mean, I still, depending on the timing, I don't necessarily feel like I have that much money around. Like, depends. Cash, like from a cash perspective, sometimes comes and goes. But I know there's a ton of wealth building up. I know you can always tap into that if needed or whatever, but like the wealth is going to build over time.
Yeah.
It's not going to come there in a year. You're not going to like buy 10 properties and somehow have a bunch of cash over here in a year. It takes a bit of time, but at the same time, building that up over time, just have the longer term outlook. It doesn't need to be 30 years, but 5 years.
Shit, you've done it in 6 years.
Yeah. 6 years goes by fast. It seems like a long time 6 years ago.
It's because you're still young.
Yeah.
You're still a baby.
It goes fast. I think a lot of people they want to get it too fast. And it's just not realistic.
Most people overestimate what they can do in the short term and underestimate what they can do in the long term. Yeah. Right? So most people overestimate what they can do in, say, a year and underestimate what they can do in 5.
5 years, you could, with the right people, knowledge, skills, etc., that you might have or already have built up. I mean, you can be a freaking billionaire in 5 years or less.
You can own 200 units. You can go from 5 units to 200 units, and owning 5, 6 businesses.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. A couple more on the way, probably.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, exactly. I mean, you just need to get in there and get going, right? And not necessarily. It's the same thing with, I know how you invest in stock market, other things like longer term outlook. You can do really well. It's the short term stuff that gets people in trouble. Yeah.
Well, and I tell people all the time, the biggest thing you can have in any investing is patience.
Yeah.
Right. If you're looking at it daily, you're going to lose money some days.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it over a long period of time, if you have the right strategy, you're going to do very, very well.
You can make money quick, right? You can.
Oh yeah, you can make money quick too.
It's okay. It's nothing wrong with it, obviously.
Yeah.
In a fix and flip or something in the real estate world, like you can do it. A lot more risky, and you could lose money.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I'd like to keep these under 30 minutes. Anything else you want to share with anybody before we take this out?
I don't know. They can check out some of my other stuff if they want.
Oh, right.
Check some of that. Like,
so
you can look at my podcast, Breakthrough Real Estate Investing, maybe. You can check out our episode.
Through Real Estate Podcast.
Yeah.
And if you want to check them out, Mackay Realty on Instagram.
Facebook, wherever.
Yeah,
you can see stuff all over.
We'll link it down below. But you guys, you and Rob Brake have a great podcast on there too, right?
So, we're going a long time. 7 years almost?
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah, you guys were started before you even came to Hamilton.
Yeah.
I think you just started, yeah.
Long time ago, so lots of content there. If they want to learn a bit more about what we got going on there, they could do that. A whole bunch of stuff online. I don't know. Look me up and you can find out all that stuff.
There you go. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, of course. It really does help everyone. So, I think only 10% of you are smashing the like button. Let's go for 100. Let's go for over 100 likes on this video. It really does help the YouTube algorithm. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
Thanks.